America will likely be at war with the People's Republic of China in 2027 or 2028. If you are watching this, you are likely to be involved in that war. This video is designed to give you an overview of the Chinese People's Liberation Army ground forces, the soldiers, sailors, airmen, marines, and guardians, so that you may better understand your adversary. If this video does well, it will be the first in a series about the People's Liberation Army for the U.S. military. Note that this video is available at linecut.substack.com for paid members with no ads. If you have a .mil email address and want a copy of this video to show your soldiers without ads, send me an email. I will get you an offline copy. I don't want any money for it. Now, this video wasn't cheap. I spent about $2,500, about 80 man-hours researching this. So give me 60 seconds to pay the bills here and talk about ground news. While we're on the subject of China, did you know that 3 U.S. Army soldiers were charged with treason
for selling classified military secrets to China?
This wasn't in the New York Times or the Wall Street Journal.
But I did read about it on Ground News.
I actually pay for Ground News myself. They do not give it to me for free. I even got a subscription for my dad because he spends all day watching the TV news and is incredibly misinformed.
Now, what's neat about Ground News is it gives you the news from the left, the center, and the right.
So it cannot be cut through the biases. In this case,
this particular story was covered predominantly on the right.
So if you primarily get your news from left-leaning sources, you might never have heard the story.
And this blind spot report up here off the vantage
information is a free of the PLAA, or the People's Liberation Army. This term has been adopted by the PLA's subject matter experts when studying the PLA from the outside. Now, the ground component of the PLA is called the PLAGF, People's Liberation Army Ground Force. This term is more commonly used within intelligence and national security circles. It also emphasizes the ground force as a distinct branch within the PLA. So if you point at a Chinese infantryman and you say, oh, he's PLA, you're not technically wrong. It would be kind of like a Chinese dude pointing at an American in uniform and going, oh, he's a serviceman. So, well, it sounds kind of weird. People's Liberation Army Ground Force serves to distinguish the Army or land force component of the PLA over other branches within the PLA. The history of the People's Liberation Army could fill a heck of a lot of large books. I'm going to boil it down a little bit for you to understand the organization a little bit better. The PLA traces its origin to the first engagement of the Chinese Civil War from 1927 to 1949. The PLA was initially known as the Red Army. It was founded on August 1st, 1927 during the Nanchang Uprising, a battle fought between the communists and the nationalists known as Kuomintang, who controlled the Chinese government.
Smooth, sophisticated feel, refined look. But these napkins aren't just elegant, they're surprisingly affordable, making them perfect for breakfast, or dinner, or breakfast pork.
The PLA's war flag and naval jack have writing on them depicting the anniversary of the Nanchang Uprising that has an 8 and a 1. With the outbreak of the Second Sino-Japanese War from 1937 to 1945, the Red Army formed a nominal alliance with the Nationalists. The Red Army preserved its strength by conducting guerrilla raids against the Japanese, forcing the Nationalists to bear the brunt of the fighting against Imperial Japan. Now, during the Chinese Civil War, the Red Army, along with many communists and their supporters, retreated to China's interior in what was then known as the Long March. This is from 1934 to 1935, all while being pursued by the Nationalists and the Nationalist allies. The Long March nearly destroyed the communists and their military. At the time, it positioned them very advantageously for continuation of their civil war against the Nationalists in 1945 when World War II ended. Now, between 1947 and 1948, the Red Army restructured and became the PLA, the People's Liberation Army. In 1949, the Civil War ended with a communist victory and the formation of the People's Republic of China, or PRC. The People's Liberation Army began its transition into separate service branches, and this is the PLA Army, the PLA Navy, the PLA Air Force, shortly after the founding of the People's Republic of China in 1949. The PLA was committed to several military engagements following the formation of the People's Republic of China, particularly during the 1950s and 1960s. Now, we all know about China's involvement in the Korean War, but let's talk about some other conflicts. These include the first Taiwan Strait crisis. This is in 1954 and 1955. The second Taiwan Strait crisis in 1958. The Sino-Indian War in 1962, with additional clashes in 1967 and 1969. And the Sino-Soviet border conflict in 1969. From these conflicts, the Sino-Vietnamese War of 1979 stands out for several painful reasons. The Sino-Vietnamese War of 1979 lasted from February 17th to March 16th, 1979, and was a brief but very intense conflict between China and Vietnam. China launched a massive invasion along an 800-mile border involving some 220,000 troops. Despite initial advances, PLA faced stiff resistance from battle-hardened Vietnamese forces who were mostly border guards and militia members. Vietnam's elite units at the time were engaged in Cambodia. And this war resulted in very heavy casualties. Each side suffered approximately 65,000 casualties. For the PLA and the PLAA, or People's Liberation Army specifically, the war with Vietnam exposed significant weaknesses. The PLA was defeated by militias and frickin' border guards, not the elite of Vietnam's forces. So this Sino-Vietnamese conflict highlighted the deficiencies in the strategy, equipment, and training, particularly of the PLAA, prompting a wave of modernization and reform. These waves of reform did not end there, and subsequent decades have forced the PLA to push for deeper reforms to ensure it is ready for the next war. The 1990s also provided a crucial moment for the PLA and PLAA's need to modernize. Chinese military and political officials witnessed how easily the high-tech military of the United States and their allies easily defeated Saddam Hussein in Kuwait. And the Iraqi military at the time was supposed to be the fourth largest in the world. On top of all that, the United States managed to humiliate the PLA and Chinese officials in the so-called Third Taiwan Strait crisis in 1996. The U.S. did so by sailing two aircraft carriers, the Independence and the Nimitz, through the Taiwan Strait, and the PLA was unable to stop them. 2015 and 2024 saw further military reforms and the need to ensure that PLAA is an effective fighting force for future conflicts. So now, let's talk about the PLAGF Order of Battle. An Order of Battle, or ORBAT, is comprised of units, formations, and fielded equipment of a military force. The PLAA and PLAGF follows a hierarchical command structure, starting from the Central Military Commission all the way down to the battalion-level formation. The Central Military Commission, or CMC, serves as the supreme military authority in China, overseeing all aspects of the PLA in general. The CMC is controlled by the Chinese Communist Party, ensuring military alignment with political objectives. So the PLA is not the National Army of China. It is technically the army of the party, the Communist Party of China. And note that Xi Jinping is the chairman of the CMC, which shows you how much power the Chinese Party has over the PLA and its different service branches. Now, the rest of the force is organized as follows. Start with theater. There's a total of 5 theater commands: Eastern, Southern, Western, Northern, and Central. Eastern Theater Command, which is headquartered in Nanjing, is oriented toward Taiwan and the East China Sea.
With one dose, you can watch those Dead Seas fall right off. Teach these a lesson with Capstar.
By rethinking how we handle returns, we can cut costs, reduce waste, and even improve customer satisfaction. Hey there, shippers, and welcome back to another episode where we dive into all things parcel shipping. If you do wish...
The Eastern Command executes operational control over national defense matters related to Taiwan and Japan, including contingencies in and around the Taiwan Strait and various islands. The Southern Theater Command, located in Guangzhou, is oriented toward the South China Sea, Southeast Asia border security, and territorial and maritime disputes. This geographical area implies that the Southern Command is responsible for securing the South China Sea, supporting the Eastern Theater Command in any invasion of Taiwan, responding to territorial disputes, and assuring the security of sea lanes of communication, as seen vital to China's global ambitions. The Western Theater Command, which is located in Chengdu, is oriented toward India and counterterrorism missions along its western borders. It's geographically the largest theater command within China and is likely responsible for responding to conflict with India, as well as terrorist and insurgency threats within western China. Within China, the Western Command additionally focuses on the Xinjiang and Tibet autonomous regions, where there is a perceived threat of separatism and terrorism. The Western Command is also closest borders with India. Its troops are the most experienced in high altitude and extreme cold weather operations. This is especially relevant given China's larger Arctic ambitions. It calls itself a near-Arctic state, so these units could be responsible for expeditionary operations in the Arctic or Antarctic in the near future. The Northern Theater Command out of Shenyang is oriented toward the Korean Peninsula and Russian border security. Its area of responsibility includes the majority of Chinese borders with Mongolia, Russia, and North Korea, as well as the Yellow Sea. The Northern Command is responsible for operations along China's northern periphery, specifically border stability operations related to a North Korean contingency operation or northern border contingencies involving Mongolia or Russia. Finally, Central Theater Command is headquartered in Beijing. It's oriented toward capital defense and providing surge support to other theaters. The Central Command's responsibilities include ensuring security for Chinese Communist Party leadership, serving as a strategic reserve for other theater commands, as well as having a responsibility that extends from the Bohai Gulf out to China's interior and linking the other four theater commands. Next, we have the Group Army. The People's Liberation Army consists of 13 group armies, each assigned a specific theater command. These group armies serve as force pools for task-organized operations and consist of approximately 4,500 to 60,000 personnel, which is roughly the size of a U.S. Army Corps. Each group army consists of roughly 6 combined arms brigades, around 30,000 troops total, and 6 support brigades. The PLAA includes around 79 combined arms brigades, also analogous to a U.S. Army. Now, combined arms brigades are classified. We have heavy armored combined arms brigades. This is in total, with between 800 and 1,200 personnel per combined arms battalion, each with 4 to 6 combined arms battalions. Then you have medium mechanized combined arms brigades. Those are 30 brigades in total, between 700 and 1,000 personnel per combined arms battalion, each with 4 to 6 combined arms battalions per brigade. Then you have light or motorized combined arms brigades. There's 23 of those in total, with between 600 and 800 personnel per combined arms battalion and 4 to 6 combined arms battalions in a brigade. Now you might say, hold on for a sec, Ryan. You went from corps to brigade. Where the heck are the divisions? And yeah, the Chinese army is brigade-centric as opposed to division-centric. They're almost like the way the U.S. Army was during the Global War on Terror, where brigades kind of fit in or could be snapped in anywhere they were needed. Now let's talk about these brigades. Each brigade consists of multiple battalions. A combined arms battalion consists of 3 to 4 maneuver companies supplanted by support units, and it serves as the primary tactical unit of a combined arms brigade. The composition of these companies varies by type. So you have armored, you have mech, and you have motorized formations employing different vehicle platforms and support structures. Now, heavy battalions have 2 tank and 2 mechanized infantry companies. Medium battalions have 1 assault gun and 3 mechanized infantry companies, and light battalions have 3 infantry companies. Now, Chinese Army Aviation Brigades serve as the PLAA's primary rotary wing aviation force, supporting maneuver warfare, reconnaissance, air assault, and logistical support. Army Aviation Brigades are directly assigned to a group army, and they're modeled after the U.S. Combat Aviation Brigades, although they have lower airframe density. Each group army includes 1 Army Aviation Brigade, meaning there are 13 total across the PLA's 13 group armies. Well, a quick note here. 2 of Chinese group armies, it's the 83rd and the 75th group armies, they have air assault brigades in place of Army Aviation Brigades. Each Army Aviation Brigade is composed of typically 8 battalions, which include General Utility Transport Battalion, which is 4 battalions in total, with between 8 and 12 medium-lift helicopters each. You have attack helicopter battalions, which are 2 battalions in total, and 8 helicopters each. You have a reconnaissance battalion, which is 1 battalion in total, with 8 reconnaissance or light attack helicopters each. Then you have a headquarters support battalion. There's 1 of those, and they provide the command, logistics, and maintenance support. So, these 2 air assault brigades exist within the PLAA, with 3 infantry battalions and up to 6 medium-lift helicopter battalions for rapid deployment and vertical involvement.
Future-proof your home and garden with AARP today. Harvest the rewards for years to come. That's why the younger you are, the more you need AARP.
Now, none of this matters without support. Support brigades within the PLAA include personnel that provide artillery, air defense, aviation assets. Special operations are actually considered support, as well as engineering and chemical defense, as well as service and support, meaning logistical, medical, transport, maintenance, and electronic warfare. So let's get to who you will face on the battlefield. Light and medium combined arms battalions have around 3 infantry companies. Each of those companies has 3 platoons, and each platoon has 3 squads. The PLAA infantry squad is structured in such a way as to conduct combined arms maneuvers, such as integrating firepower, mobility, and multi-role capabilities at the lowest tactical level. So it is important to remember, the infantry squad composition varies based on brigade type. There's motorized, mechanized, armored, whatever. PLAA infantry squads are not independent tactical units. Kind of think of them as active nodes within a larger warfighting network. Their weapons, mobility, and tactics are structured to contribute to this broader networked operation rather than act as isolated field units. Rather than 2 or 3 distinct fire teams, the PLAA squad distributes its role across its members to ensure flexibility and firepower. Firepower is layered, so that riflemen provide general fire, the squad automatic weapon gunner suppresses enemies, the anti-tank specialist engages armored vehicles, and the grenadier provides explosive support. The squad size is around 8 to 10 soldiers, with each soldier serving a distinct role. The squad leader is responsible for command and fire coordination. Around 3 to 5 soldiers serve as general purpose infantrymen, either with the standard issue QBZ 95 or the QBZ 191 rifle. 1 to 2 soldiers are responsible for the squad automatic weapon, providing suppressive fire using the QBD 95 LSW, for example. Anti-tank capabilities are provided by 1 or 2 soldiers as well. They carry the PF-89 RPG or the HJ-12 anti-tank guided missile. These capabilities are used to engage armored threats. At least 1 soldier serves as a grenadier using a QLU 11 35mm grenade launcher for additional firepower. A designated marksman might be added to a squad and equipped with a QBU 88 designated marksman. Now, squads might see varied compositions. For example, a light infantry motorized squad That'd be transported by ZSL 92B armored personnel carriers, which are light armored personnel carriers, often used for mobility and rapid maneuverability, whereas the mechanized infantry squad deploys from the ZBD-04A infantry fighting vehicles, integrating heavy machine guns and anti-tank guided missiles, providing a balance of firepower and protection. Whereas the armored infantry squad operates with Type 99A main battle tanks and ZBD-04A infantry fighting vehicles, emphasizing shock assaults. Now, the PLAA infantry squads are highly firepower-oriented units. Each unit carries multiple types of anti-tank guided missiles, grenade launchers, and machine guns. Light machine guns, general purpose machine guns, and heavy machine guns. The QBZ-191 is gradually replacing the QBZ-95, which remains the dominant platform, at least until force modernization is complete. Man-portable air defense systems, or MANPADS, and other anti-air weapon systems are integrated into the PLA's layered air defense strategy. This strategy is designed to deny their adversaries their superiority and protect key assets on the battlefield. These same systems contribute to China's doctrine of active defense and system warfare, where high-value targets are engaged, aerial reconnaissance is disrupted, precision-guided threats are eliminated before they can actually engage PLAA assets. Combined arms brigades and air defense assets use weapons to enhance the PLA's ability to maintain control over their airspace at both the tactical and operational level. They actually reach out to the operational level. In doing this, the PLAA is ensuring its broader strategy of multi-domain deterrence and anti-access area denial, or A2AD. And also keep in mind, down at the individual infantry level, you have RPG launchers, thermobaric weapons, modern anti-armor missiles. These significantly enhance their capability against armored threats. Let's hop back to the brigades for a second. Let's talk about this.
The only people that I go to for financial advice are my dad and my sister. My family was very frugal. They didn't come from a lot of money, so I'm looking for an actual business who can treat like family. So,
precision artillery and missile systems enable brigades to strike far beyond visual range, targeting enemy positions and infrastructure. And combined arms brigades also rely on integrated digital battle networks and electronic attack systems to jam communications, disrupt radar, and neutralize UAVs. Brigades are equipped with UAVs, signals intelligence, battlefield surveillance systems for real-time integration, intelligence gathering, and targeting. And brigades also have supports that allow for prolonged operations with advanced logistics, transport, medical, and resupply units. PLAA Army Aviation Brigades also field a mix of indigenous, licensed, and imported helicopter designs. Now, at some point, everybody watching this video thought that joining the military was a good idea. China's no different. The People's Liberation Army continues to adapt its recruitment and training policy to meet the demands of military modernization and attract high-quality personnel with technical skills that are relevant to modern warfare. There has been a focus on twice-yearly conscription, but they also have this kind of precision recruitment that aims to maintain a consistently trained force, while also incentivizing college students to join due to this need for specialized and technically advanced skills. The PLAA continues to modernize its recruitment, training, personnel management, and veterans benefits to build this professional and capable ground force. Challenges do remain, aligning skills with operational needs and retaining talent for long-term service. That's a problem. Well, the PLAA effectively designates all enlisted personnel as conscripts. Many of these individuals are effectively volunteers who choose to join the PLA for the benefits. This system allows both compulsory service to meet quotas and voluntary enlistment with incentives for those who choose to stay longer or serve in technical capacity. PLAA training varies widely in quality, with elite units receiving extensive resources and lower tier units struggling with outdated training and legacy equipment. New conscripts undergo 3 months of basic training covering military fundamentals, political indoctrination, and physical fitness. Advanced training includes joint exercises, force-on-force engagements, and combat simulations to enhance operational effectiveness. The PLA emphasizes realistic combat training, shifting from scripted drills that they used to do to actual problem solving and adaptability in diverse environments. Training occurs across various terrains and climates, with major bases in each of China's 5 military theaters. The introduction of blue forces in training aims to provide realism and allow units to test strategies against skilled opposition. That's right. China has blue 4 role players, just like we have top 4 role players. And here's the badge. Conscripts serve for 2 years and receive basic allowance, housing, and other benefits. The PLAA has adjusted policies to retain and promote experienced non-commissioned officers, or NCOs, offering longer service terms and structured career progression. Reservists receive financial incentives, including allowances for inactive periods and full pay when activated for a training or operation. The civilian careers of reservists are actually protected by the government, ensuring job security during military service. The next big fight will be with China. Knowing how our adversaries tick allows us to build our responses to these adversarial forces and ensure that our forces remain relevant to possible threats within the military environment. The People's Liberation Army, and more specifically the People's Liberation Army Ground Force component of the PLA, is a modern force with a deep history, offering a potentially difficult scenario for defeat and an adversarial organization that is a near-peer threat to America's military might. Just remember, if you do have a .mil email address and you want a copy of this video to show your soldiers without ads, send me an email. I'll get you an offline copy. I just ask for the price. This video took about 80 or so hours of work, so $2,500 to produce. So if you want to see more videos like this on, let's say, the PLA Navy or other branches of the Chinese military, consider supporting me on Substack or ryan.substack.com. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Wow, this girl from Watertown sure is cool. Hey kid, what's going on? Think tank! You know, a girl from Watertown is kind of like riding a moped. It's lots of fun till your friends see you one-on-one. What's really cool is a t-shirt or hoodie from Bunker Branding. Wow! Intel Control-C, Control-V. That's exactly what we do! And Bunker Branding has all sorts of cool gear. Intel Aerosol, Live Lap 1 for Destroyer, Trident, HIMARS, and Patriot. Think outside the box. Drone Sweet Drone, Department of the Bogey, Landmine, and even the tow missile. It would behoove you to grab one today. Girls from Watertown aren't cool, so wear your Bunker Branding gear. Now I know. Knowing's half the battle. Hey, babe.
Two powers compete to dominate the global markets.
We know foreign countries and companies swipe our corporate secrets.
China breaks the rules in its quest to become the world's economic superpower.
There's 2 types of companies left in the United States. Companies that have been hacked by China and companies that don't know they've been hacked by China yet.
Chinese hackers breach American corporations under direct orders from Beijing.
This is oftentimes a military operation, and you don't disobey orders in the military.
Billions of dollars worth of U.S. trade secrets are stolen every year.
The people behind the keyboard think they're anonymous, and these charges show you are not.
What will it take to stop the theft?